With the show's premise established, it's time to work on the characters and the overall plot of trying to make a successful TV show when everybody hates everybody else. Lisa is gone, replaced by Tracy, who plays Joyce's sidekick on Undercover Woman. We'll see about her later. Right now, Joyce and Mitzi are preparing for a guest. Mitzi's cousin Wilma just got divorced, and it's been a little rough on her.
Say, is it all right if I invite Wilma to the party?
Sure, why not?
Well, it is the premiere of your show. I thought maybe you'd all rather watch it alone.
Oh, of course not. I just hope she can stand it. You have no idea how nervous we all are.
Really?
Oh. If the critics don't like the show, we've taken a vow. We're going to commit group suicide.
Then maybe you don't want us there.
Oh, nonsense. The more the merrier.
If you talk like that today, either someone will have the police at your door or you'll get banned on Twitter. Or both. But right now, let's meet Wilma. As I said, the divorce has been rough on her. Let's hope visiting Mitzi and Joyce and going to a party will help lift her spirits.
Wilma, how are you?
Divorced.
I know, I'm sorry.
Oh, Mitzi, how could Harry divorce me? I was his wife.
Or not. She's all about Harry. How could Harry walk out like that? Every time the phone rings, it's, oh God, let it be Harry. And everything she sees reminds her of Harry.
You must be Joyce.
Yes, I am. How do you do?
She reminds me of Harry.
What part? Later, John has the cast rehearsing a scene. Joyce isn't there yet, so Hugo is reading her lines.
Sergeant, you must be crazy to be thinking of quitting the force.
She's right. You're the greatest undercover woman we've ever had.
I'm sorry, it's time for me to hang it up. I'm going to wait for Mr. Wright to come along. Someone whose children I'll be proud to have. I never told you guys this before, but I always wanted to be a mother. Oh, I know it won't be easy, but cut!
Hugo makes this show for me. When they're doing publicity photos, he feels uncomfortable in a suit instead of a dress, but he's not a cross-dresser. He just loves his job and takes it seriously. And he genuinely makes me laugh. He's played by Charles Cyphers, and the role is a heck of a departure for him. We saw him in Secrets of Isis when he was just getting started, and he was also in the final episode of Wonder Woman Season 1, Wonder Woman in Hollywood. But all through the 80s, he was one of John Carpenter's favorites and appeared in who knows how many horror movies. He did loads of TV drama as well, and then there's this. We're looking at a serious dramatic actor who nevertheless doesn't take himself too seriously. John declares that the scene is awful and will need a rewrite. How it managed to get this far is one of life's little mysteries.
I think I know how we can add a little bit more dramatic impact to the scene.
How's that?
What if I cry during the scene and wear a bikini?
Let me think about that a second. No.
That's our new eye candy, Tracy. Her real name is Karen with a C, K with a K. The most striking thing I noticed about her was she seemed to have a special ability to get cast on shows that would be appropriate subjects for TV fails. Between 1972 and 1984, I counted 6 of them. She finally quit acting and got a PhD in psychology. At last report, she had an online presence having to do with holistic medicine. Right now, her character tends to give the word holistic an entirely new meaning. Joyce has been showing Wilma around the studio and the soundstage. She wants to talk to John in private.
John, I don't know what to do about her. She's been staying with me for a week now, and every day she gets more and more depressed.
I can understand that.
No need to be nasty, John. I apologized for being late.
Actually, it doesn't matter. The entire second act has to be rewritten. You'll have to learn it tonight.
There's no way she can do that because Wilma clings to her like a remora. She has to have some time to herself if she's going to memorize a whole new second act.
You could get Mitzi to take her out for the evening.
Mitzi's got a date. John, you could take Wilma out.
A friend of his is premiering a new stage comedy, which is perfect. A comedy is something Wilma could use, and it'll get her out of the house. Meanwhile, before the gang can gather in Joyce's house to watch the premiere, there's something wrong with the sound in their TV. A repairman is here to fix it.
Used to be all you had to do was slap it twice and it would come right on, but not anymore.
Gotcha.
Meanwhile, in Washington, the president met with members of the...
That'll be $32.
I didn't look up how much that is today, but trust me, it's a lot. He's got a nice racket going there.
Memorized 37 pages of script last night.
Wow.
Of course, I couldn't have done it without John's help. I got him to take Wilma out. Did she tell you?
No, she hasn't been down yet.
Oh, she was so excited. She got a new hairdo. I even loaned her that old fox stole that John's mother gave me. Of course, Wilma didn't want to wear it either. She claimed one of the fox heads reminded her of Harry.
I think I know which one.
I have to pause for a moment here and say Georgia Engel was the unsung hero of this show. I do believe she played every dingy blonde who ever appeared in a TV show. In fact, she pretty well defined typecasting. Needless to say, she was anything but. She established herself and her amazing comedic ability on the Mary Tyler Moore Show and didn't lack for work for the rest of her life after that. Her last series role was on Hot in Cleveland alongside Valerie Bertinelli, Jane Leeves, Wendy Malick, and once again the immortal Betty White. There are those actors who, when they get typecast, can't handle it. Georgia Engel was not one of those actors. I'll let her speak for herself. So many people ask if I hate doing similar roles, but I try to explain that even within the specialized area of light comedy and ditzy blondes, there are wonderful nuances that are infinitely interesting to me. She didn't just handle it, she leaned into it and found ways to keep it from getting boring. Anybody who finds themselves getting typecast would do well to follow her lead. Bye.
Joyce, I had no idea my cousin was going to be such a problem. If you want, I'll go upstairs right now and have a talk with her.
That's not necessary. We have to remember this is a trying time she's going through. The poor woman needs all the help we can give her.
Good morning.
Wilma!
And besides, she's not upstairs.
What a night. Hot damn.
I think I'll go feed Boots.
I already fed Boots.
Then I'll go watch him burp.
She wants no part of this, and you can't blame her. Wilma can't stop raving about John.
You didn't tell me what a sweet, dear, warm, kind, considerate man that John really is.
Are we talking about the same John? Little guy with a fuzzy lip?
She's moving out here so she can be close to everyone, especially John. Joyce is okay with that, right?
Not that I'm interested, but I'm sure there's a perfectly innocent reason why they were out all night.
Sure, they could have run out of the gas.
Sure, they could have had a flat tire.
Or maybe something went wrong with the transmission.
Or maybe they shacked up. I don't know a lot about cars.
Remember how I said the basic premise of this show is Joyce and John sniping at each other? Tracy makes it a three-way.
Okay, maybe I was a little jealous. But after seeing John here tonight, I'd know nothing happened.
Of course not.
I mean, I could tell. I've been married to him for 5 years.
Oh, right. And if nothing happened in 5 years, it's certainly not going to happen in one night.
Tracy's barbs tend to be creative like that. John and Wilma do seem to be getting along famously.
I was just telling Johnsy here that I was going to have a very hard time finding an apartment in California.
Oh.
So, Pussface has offered to help me, and I'm sure he knows his way around.
Funny how quiet Johnsy is all of a sudden.
Joyce, it's almost time. Don't you think we should turn on the TV set?
What time is it?
Okay, that looked like a genuine accident, an absent-minded movement with unfavorable results. I've had similar things happen, being a lifelong ADDer. When I was in my teens, I went through a phase where I was just, for lack of a better word, rude. I didn't respect anybody, I badmouthed adults, and deliberately threw a lot of social conventions to the wind. One of those was blowing my nose. Indoors, outdoors, didn't matter where I was. If I needed to blow, I'd just go like this and send it sailing. Most of the time, I tried to make sure nobody noticed. Around this time, a lot of guys were wearing a particular type of suede shoes called floaters. I tried some and they were uncomfortable, but my nephew had a pair and he was pretty proud of them. One evening, we were walking through our favorite bowling alley. I glanced around to make sure no one was looking and let one fly. It was a nice wet one and it landed right on his shoe. He threw a fit, started cursing at me, and hoisted his foot up to try and wipe it on me. By this time, people were starting to notice the commotion, and they really noticed when he lost his balance and fell flat on his back. Meanwhile, I'm standing there quietly, the innocent little lamb who can't figure out why his buddy suddenly flipped out. It was great. Anyway, given my own history, I can easily believe that was a genuine accident. But John will never believe it.
Listen, everybody, no matter what the ratings and the reviews were like, we've still got a show to do, and we have a terrific script this week. I don't know why, but I particularly like the scene in the museum where Joyce is captured, dragged into a dungeon, and then tortured, beaten, and whipped.
He still won't believe it was an accident, and he won't say anything about what happened that night. They have a show to do, and he's explaining the next scene to her.
After the chase scene, you'll be captured, thrown into this torture chamber, dragged onto this rack, and flogged until you're unconscious. It'll just take a couple of minutes to just lay back and enjoy it.
This looks a little difficult, John. Why don't you show me what you want me to do?
It'll be very simple, Joyce, even for you.
Yes, he's going to fall for it.
Of course, your captors won't actually turn the crank.
They won't?
No, they'll just start to turn it, then we'll cut to you and you'll pretend to be in excruciating pain. Do you think you can do that?
I'll just try and remember our marriage.
So that's the scene. She can let him out now.
John, while I have you here, could I ask you one question?
What is it?
What exactly went on with you and Wilma the other night?
Joyce, you promised you wouldn't ask.
Oh, one more question.
What is it?
How does this work?
She can let him out, but she really doesn't want to.
Look, there's no reason to be jealous. I feel nothing for Wilma. I only felt sorry for her.
Oh, and what about helping her look for an apartment?
Just doing a good deed.
Well, one good turn deserves another.
Joyce, please, my navel's coming undone.
He's had enough. It's time to come clean.
Believe me, if I'm interested in anyone, it's you.
Oh, really, John? Or are you just pulling my leg?
You've meant more to me than any woman I've ever known, and even though we're divorced, you still do.
She admits she's not over him either. They agree to have dinner that night and talk about it.
Joyce, haven't you forgotten something?
Oh, yes, of course. I can't tell you how I'm looking forward to going out with you tonight. Especially now that you're taller.
Wilma has found an apartment and she's off to build a new life.
Oh, Joyce, Mitzi, I want to thank you for everything. You have helped make me the happiest woman in the world. I'm a new person. I am born again. Oh, please, God, let it be Harry.
That's our epilogue. Cliched, predictable, and just not funny. It's low-hanging fruit. It says we have to wrap this up, so put something here. I don't understand it. We have Betty White, John Hillerman, and Georgia Engel. 3 top-notch superstar quality actors. And this is what we give them to work with. They should have taken John's advice.
The scene is awful. It's going to have to be rewritten.
Too bad nobody listened. Let's hope visiting Mitzi and Joyce are going and everything said how it managed to. Oh, come on, managed.